Most embarrassing sales story. The customer was just going on and on and on and on, just not getting any breaks of conversation. So my coworker wrote me a Slack saying, shoot me now. And unfortunately, I was sharing my screen, so it popped up.
I always want myself and our people to be very upfront about what our solution does, what it doesn't do. The best part of selling and convincing somebody to go with your solution over something else is being honest about what we're able to do and what we're going to deliver for them, but also not shying away from the potential downfalls and the areas where we might not be able to produce a result that they're looking for.
Co-selling, working with execs, partners, advisors, and getting great at co-selling.
This one's funny, but in a painful way. And that's when they say they don't care about revenue. I think that happens a lot when you're with an unsophisticated buyer or someone who's not ready. So it's a good qualifier for the sellers out there. But that to me is hilarious because anyone who works for a company and is a shareholder should care very much about revenue. So.
The biggest challenge when demoing is always being derailed by the customer, especially when you're dealing with multi-thread, 20 people on the demo. So making sure you're keeping people focused on the value that they're going to drive and not getting down into the features and functionality all the time.
Different is better than better. Try to avoid conversations that go to better, like this pen is better than what you currently have. Getting people to think differently about solutions tends to get them more invested, tends to have stronger intent and motivation.
The adrenaline of the sales pursuit, the energy, the feeling, the competitiveness, the challenge in front of you, and that kind of drives me to figure out how to win.
Well, that will really have to be pulling out of a deal. I was involved in an RFP. Having read the RFP, I realized that the way that it had been written, they were asking the wrong questions. They were going to end up buying the wrong type of product. And I basically wrote a very scathing email to the CMO telling him why I thought that their whole approach was incorrect, why it was going to cost them in the future. 3-4 months later, when we were hosting an event in Tel Aviv, this guy walked up to me and he said, I'm Peter, the CMO of the company that's in question. And I had to fly over to Israel to meet the guy that told me to F off, basically. And we want to work with you.
Asking stupid questions. Ask questions that help you close the deal. Don't ask stupid questions that will uncover your flaws. Oftentimes you want to make like this conversation and ask a lot about discovery and be cool because your boss told you this. But make sure you're asking the right questions. Don't go with the too far and ask stupid questions that might trigger something else within the prospect.
You need healthy fats, you need a certain amount of carbohydrates, you need protein. During that 5-minute interim period between when one Zoom meeting ends and another Zoom meeting begins, you need to be able to get all this good stuff quickly. What other way is going to be better to deliver that than the trusty old Walnut?